Hello, beloved souls. Welcome to a commentary channel. My name is Jem, and I'm a psychic medium and author of over 25 books and a lot of other things in society. Today, I want to talk about something that doesn't get discussed enough. Why psychic gifts often weaken when money, fame, or ego come into the picture. From what I've seen, genuine psychic ability flows best when it's pure, when it's done out of service, love, or curiosity, not for gain. The moment money, greed, or the need to be famous enters the space, something shifts. It's like the channel gets static, the connection weakens. Why is that? I think it's because psychic work depends on openness, humility, and surrender. The ego, with its need for recognition, validation, and control, creates a kind of block. Instead of information flowing through naturally, the mind starts forcing outcomes. And the second we force an outcome, we lose accuracy. I'll share from my own experience. When I used to do readings, I was always honest. I'd write a few lines first and ask, does this resonate? If it did, I'd go deeper, sometimes writing pages. Most people said my readings were spot on. But one woman once told me, none of this makes sense. Instead of arguing or brushing her off, I went out of my way to give her more for free. Because for me, it was never about squeezing money from someone. It was about truth. Maybe the timing wasn't right for her to hear it. Maybe she didn't want to admit it, or maybe it would click later in her life. But the integrity mattered. I even turned down a paid psychic job online because the company told me, if you can't read someone, just make it up. That's when I knew money can corrupt this field. If you're more concerned with keeping a customer than giving them the truth, you've already lost. When psychic gifts are real, they don't always perform on command like a circus act. They work best in honesty, in flow, in those unexplained moments when the channel is open. And when ego tries to dominate, when the pressure of money or fame is heavy, that channel can close. I've even experienced this in a parapsychology class, hooked up to voltage machines. I made the needle move. Not much, but enough to show that something was there. That was real. But if I had been doing it for prize money, for fame, or to prove skeptics wrong, I doubt I would have moved anything. Drugs like meth, which I was addicted to for 17 years. Meth opened strange doors for me. Under the influence, I had incredible psychic experiences, some that scared me, some that amazed me. The CIA even experimented with this sort of thing because altered states can sometimes bypass the ego and tap into that raw, unfiltered psychic channel. But drugs are not a healthy path. They open doors you can't always close. So, in the end, I think this: psychic ability weakens with money, fame, and ego because those things feed the mind, not the soul. Real psychic work comes from the soul. It's about connection, truth, and trust. And as soon as it becomes a performance, it risks turning into empty noise. Can you please drop a comment? Have you had an experience with a psychic? And was it a good experience or a bad experience? Do you believe in psychics from that experience? I've had other psychics read me and get incredible things right. And at the time, like skeptics, I didn't believe them. One time in Townsville, I had a reading, and the reading was on a cassette tape, so I could play it back, and it said I was coming into money. And I thought, how am I coming into money? I don't have. But it was, what had happened is about a year before I'd had a car accident, and the car I hired refunded me money. So that's how I came into money. And they also said that within 12 months you would move city for a new job. They were right. So sometimes it's, I don't, just because, I've just got to end this on saying you could go and pay a psychic $100 and you could pay a psychic $10. I don't think it counts on how much you pay a psychic. I don't think that's got anything to do with it. What I'm trying to say is I don't know whether the $10 psychic will be any more accurate than the $100 psychic. I just think sometimes greed gets in the way, and when greed gets in the way and ego gets in the way, then you're trying to perform because you've got, a reputation to uphold. So when you're trying to uphold this reputation, you'll just make stuff up. And, because you have to keep that reputation, and you have to, especially if you're charging, which is ridiculous, $50 for 10 minutes, you're going to do everything that you can to try to impress the client using cold readings, psychology. I personally don't do it. If I can't read, I admit I can't read you, sorry, because you can't. Some people, I don't know what it is, but some people you just can't read. And it's the same when I do a clearing. If the person's unhappy, don't pay me. I always believe honesty should come first. So please drop a comment below. I'd love to read comments. Thank you for watching. Take care of each other and yourselves. Love, light, and blessings. Bye.